there was a couple times, there's different occasions where I would say, looking back now, where I was targeted by pedophiles, right? And it's interesting because you take a kid like me, who's basically a good kid, who's a Boy Scout and, wants to do right. Somebody comes up to you in a park and says, "Oh, hi, who are you? What's your name? Where do you live? I'm moving and I could really use your help with some boxes." And I'm going, "Oh, do a good turn to somebody every day, right?" So we're walking back to his house together, and I'm just thinking, well, this is so cool. This person I just met in the park wants help moving, and I can help move his boxes, and this is like that, all the way. I'm all the way to his house, and there's the truck we're going to put the boxes in, and we're going down to his apartment, and we're in his apartment, and he goes, and I'm probably 14, and he walks in, I'm looking at this guy's apartment, he goes, "So you want a beer?" And I went, "No, no." He goes, "Well, if you don't mind, I can have one." And I kind of going, I thought we were moving boxes, right? So, but again, I'm just sort of not cluing it, like about as naive as you can possibly get, right? And then he says, "Oh, I had two guys here last night to help too." And so I thought, "Oh, okay." But he said, but then he says to me, "But they thought I wanted to have sex with them." At that point, yeah, but again, I'm thinking, okay, I got myself here. How the hell do I get out, right? So I'm sitting there thinking, like, I don't want to think what goes next, right? But I said, "Oh, what time is it? My grandmother's coming for dinner today. I've got to get home as fast as I can." And I got up and I walked out of the place, right? And I remember driving all the way home going, because I couldn't really appreciate until it was too late almost that what was actually going on. And so I remember going, and then you burst into the house. There's no precedent of having conversation with anybody. Did anybody take you into their apartment today, David? Right? It's just like, and how do you even begin that? So again, it's just like I'm at that age, just kind of going, like no acknowledgement whatsoever, right? Now, when I look back, there was at least, well, that I could remember, I would say 5 or 6 different men who went farther than that with me, almost in the similar kind of things. Where I remember being at the Y swimming, and there was a sauna, and were me and another guy are there, and this other guy there has his towel on, and I'm not thinking anything of it, and all of a sudden his towel is like up to here. He's got this boner about a foot long, right? And I'm going, like, when you, at that point I'm perceiving that I'm the object of lust from this guy, whatever, right? But then he doesn't let me out of the sauna and all that, and I'm thinking I'm like and then I kind of just go blank, right? And then his hands are all over me, and it's just kind of like, and then I'm thinking, it's interesting in my mind. It's like, okay, if my friend's brother puts his hands all over me, I guess it must be just me. I guess I'm a body people want to put their hands on. So, like, it's like somehow I have to justify the behavior because I don't have any bearings to say that this is a point at which I should yell for help, or like there's just no. And this is an older man, so I'm thinking, what do you do, right? A couple of years later, we were all playing basketball together, and we were at one of the boys' house. And so the mother says, everybody ought to take a shower, right? So we all took showers, and the one guy comes down, and he says, "Oh, the water's getting cold." And so I'm one of the last guys left there with the leader, and he says, "Well, let's go. We'll share the rest of the hot water." So I don't have anything that says this isn't appropriate, and we're in the shower together. I'm looking back now thinking, what the fuck was that? But at the time it was like, so all of a sudden I'm reinterpreting all of these experiences and realizing that it wasn't, I was choosing to have, I could have had anybody. It's like, no, they've been choosing me, and what the, there was other experiences. I remember going on a canoe trip with a friend, and he brought wine. I didn't know he could he had a wineskin. I'd never seen one before, and before you know it, he's all over me in the tent, and just kind of like, okay, this is like, it's almost like, hello, I'm the walking pedophile target, right? Like I guess I can't get pregnant, so what have I got to fear, right? And guess what? Part of it feels kind of good. Like it's just a sea of confusion, right? So it's almost like reinterpreting history, looking back. And there were other times too, right? But I think when I was, I remember in counseling, he said, I want you to go home and write down as many things as you can remember. And I came back with it. It was like 2 pages long. And he said, maybe don't write anymore. Like I guess he thought it wasn't many, but on paper it was many, like when I looked at all of them, right?